Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I am filling in for Harrison Graham. I'm Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to break down the latest news and rumors surrounding the Dallas Mavericks. We got some NBA draft stuff to talk about. But let's start with the player that I would love to see the Mavericks add in Bojan Bogdanovic. I like to call him a professional scorer because the dude knows how to put it in the basket. ESPN's Jonathan Givony says the Pistons could look to send Bogdanovic to Dallas. And I think this is a good fit on the surface of things. The Dallas Mavericks, they could use another wing scorer, but Bogdanovic is so much more than that. He is one of the best catch and shoot players in the NBA, and playing alongside a guy like Luka and Kyrie, who's going to generate a whole lot of open looks in the half court, Bogdanovic would be one of the best in the business filling that role. This is what Givony had to say about the idea. He said some trade scenarios could be in play for the Pistons with the number 31 pick as well. For example, packaging Bojan Bogdanovic for Tim Hardaway Jr. and the number 10 pick. And this isn't the first time that Bogdanovic has been linked or rumored, or maybe the Mavericks have a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge interest in the score. This isn't the first time. He was a Mavs target last year, and I just think the perfect fit is Bogdanovic for the type of role the Mavericks are looking at. I mean, when you look at the type of player he is when it comes to the statistics, Bogdanovic is one of the best scorers in the NBA. 21 points per game this past year for the Detroit Pistons, over 48% from the deck, but it's what he can do beyond the three-point arc and from downtown. Not a lot of people in the NBA shoot 41+% on 6 three-pointers a night. The dude is special, and he is someone that I think could really change the immediate future for the Dallas Mavericks. He's a professional scorer. That's what his job is. He is employed in the NBA right now by the Detroit Pistons to get buckets, and that's what he would do with the Dallas Mavericks. But it goes so much beyond just looking at a box sheet and looking at three-point percentage. When you talk about some advanced shooting numbers, 45.5% on catch-and-shoot threes. If you want to be a Dallas Maverick and you want to make a lot of money and you want to play significant minutes, you got to be a good catch-and-shoot player. He also can create his own shot a little bit, almost 33% on pull-up threes. And then when it's less than 10 feet from the basket, he has a field goal percentage of 57.2. And a stat we've been using here at Chat Sports, we call it the PC10, where you add up the pull-up three-point percentage, catch-and-shoot three-point percentage, and less than 10 feet percentage. And of all the players in the NBA last year, Bojan Bogdanovic ranked 16th of the players that average more than 18 points per game. Bogdanovic can literally just live in the corner on catching drives and kicks from Luka and Kyrie, but he can also do so much more. His ability to attack closeouts as well is so good. He can be your tertiary playmaker on the floor. Catch it in the corner, pump fake, guy flies by, puts it on the deck once or twice. He can either finish, like we said, less than 10 feet from the basket, or he can dish. I think he'd be a great fit. But what's it going to cost? Trades are never cheap, and especially in today's NBA climate, thanks Rudy Gobert. It's not going to be cheap for the Dallas Mavericks. They would have to ship out Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been a long-time Mav, and I would say had a successful career in Dallas, maybe just hasn't been the guy that pushed them over the edge like some people may have thought. You're also giving up premium draft capital, a number 10 pick in the NBA draft, but you're also getting some draft capital back in the 31st pick in the draft. So you get Bogey and a number 31 pick for THJ and number 10. I think it's a great deal for the Dallas Mavericks. I think Tim Hardaway may have ran his course with the Dallas Mavericks, and he was good for the Mavericks. Had some big games, filled in when he had to, could get buckets. We know what Tim Hardaway can do. It's just kind of the streakiness that I don't think the Mavs could afford at this point. And like we said, Bogdanovic, he is streaky, but he's more consistent than Tim Hardaway Jr. The guy can really get it done on the offensive end. So I want to ask you, would you do the deal that we showed you just a couple of seconds ago? Would you trade number 10 and THJ for 31 and Bojan Bogdanovic? I want to hear from you guys down below. Pretty much it's a first pick in the second round, but since there's 58 picks, you can look at it a couple of different ways, but it's still a really, really good pick. Let me know. Type T for trade, type P for pass. If this deal were to go down for the Mavericks at 31, keep an eye out for James Nnaji. This is a player that is really starting to impress a lot of people, and what he brings to the hardwood is something that I think the Dallas Mavericks could use a little bit more of. This is what Kevin O'Connor via The Ringer said. He said defensively alters everything around the basket. He can thrive as a drop defender, and his skills translate into help situations. He's aware when defending off the ball and does a great job of timing blocks using either hand. It's not uncommon for him to rocket off the floor for swats. 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan. The Dallas Mavericks need more interior defense. JaVale McGee did not get it done for this squad last year, and adding a young guy like Nnaji, who, like O'Connor talked about, is a relentless shot blocker. He's even a good defender, and he just brings a little bit more size and strength to the interior of this defense. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Mavericks make this deal and they end up with pick 31 for Nnaji to be one of those guys at the top of their draft board. I do know this, though. If they pick Nnaji, if they make the trade, if they do anything, Dallas Mavericks today is going to put out a video. Harrison Graham and his beard are going to hop up on the camera and get you guys a video as soon as possible. They crush it. Best Mavs content on YouTube. So subscribe and turn on your noties so you don't miss a thing. Let's talk a little bit of some betting odds. Everybody likes betting. Everyone likes winning money. I can't say everybody likes losing money. But taking a look at some offseason betting odds for the Dallas Mavericks. Let's start with LeBron James and who could potentially be the next LeBron James destination. And what do you know? I know Harry and Coop have talked about it on the channel. The Dallas Mavericks are the #1 betting destination for LeBron James. The Dallas Mavericks. And you got the Golden State Warriors right there at #2. Suns at #3. Cavs at #4. If it ain't LeBron destinations unless the Cavs are on it. And, of course, the New York Knicks. LeBron James, I believe, is staying in Los Angeles. I just think that he's too invested. He's too far in, so far gone, as some people would like to say. But if he were to move, I think the Mavs are at the top of those lists for a couple of reasons. We've heard LeBron gush over Luka before. We know LeBron and Kyrie love to play together. In Dallas, it's a big market. It would take a ton, though. I mean, no matter how old LeBron is, no matter how many years he has tacked on to his NBA resume, it's not going to be cheap. And it would take a ton of moving parts to make this move. With the new CBA kicking in next year, the Mavericks don't have the ammo. Really, these tax apron exceptions and really things that prohibit you from making moves in this new CBA are extremely steep. And I'm expecting teams to be way more calculated when it comes to building out their roster. And as fun as LeBron, Luka, and Kyrie would be, I just don't know if it's best for the long-term future of the Mavs and continuously putting a winning product around Luka Doncic. What about DeAndre Ayton? I know Ayton has really a lot of mixed feelings in the NBA. I think he's in that list of players of some of the most polarizing people in the association. What do you know? Ayton, for some reason, yet again, is the Dallas Mavericks, the #1 destination. The Mavs only acquire Ayton, though, if the Suns' asking price comes down. You could definitely see the Phoenix Suns trying to recoup some of those assets that they lost in that Kevin Durant trade. They don't have any of their own first-round picks to move anymore after right now trading 4 unprotected for Kevin Durant. So they could be looking to get some assets back and maybe turn Ayton into a couple of players and a couple of picks. And why do I think the Mavs are always linked? Because the Mavs need a big man. But do they need DeAndre Ayton is the question in today's show. Look, the raw stats are great, right? There's not many humans walking this earth that give you 18 points, 10 rebounds, almost a block per night, and almost 60% from the field. And he is a good player, no doubt about it. But the way the postseason kind of turned out for the Phoenix Suns and just the effort sometimes I think is really questionable from Ayton. The will to win, is it there? The drive to be great, is it there? I don't know, which makes me ask the question, is he worth the number 10 pick? And then reports, they're probably going to want Josh Green and Jaden Hardy. And if I was Nico Harrison, I'm not doing it. I do not think it's worth uprooting kind of a young core that you're starting to build in Dallas for DeAndre Ayton, who I think is a fair question to ask. Does he care about winning? Is he a winning basketball piece? But I'll let you sit in the seat of the GM for the Dallas Mavericks. Would you trade for DeAndre Ayton? Not just trade for him for nothing. Factor in what the cost would be. Why for yes and for no? Tell us what you think down below. NBA title odds for the 2024 NBA season have been released, and the Dallas Mavericks cracked of the top of the list a little bit. Boston Celtics, number 1 at 550, tied with the Denver Nuggets as they look to go back to back. I'm sure Jokic can't wait for another Finals MVP celebration. Then you got the Milwaukee Bucks at number 3, Phoenix Suns is number 4, and that's the Mavs at number 5. Number 12, I can't read, 12th best odds to win the title. I think it's a little low for the Mavericks. I think if you're definitely going to bring back Kyrie, look, you got 2 players that a lot of people think are 2 of the best ball handlers in the NBA. It doesn't really take much more than having 2 elite talents to make deep postseason runs. And if Luka and Kyrie can iron out the details, I don't think there's any reason they couldn't be a top 5 team in the NBA next year. I appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. And I hope I didn't do too bad as I filled in for Harrison Graham. If you made it this far in the video, though, let's do this. Type Harry, as in Harry Graham, down in the comment section so he can feel some love. I was looking at that. I was like, that is such a steep jump from 4 to 5. L3 kind of blends in, not going to lie. You could do that green piece since they have